So we finally have our first look at Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, and it actually looks incredible. Now, I've never been a big fan of Beast Wars or the Beast Wars characters, yet seeing them here in live action, they look amazing. I didn't really like how in the original series they turned into more realistic animals, like with fur and skin, but here the Maximals are completely mechanical and they look like robot animals, rather than trying to turn into more realistic animals. And I think the designs they went with really work for these characters. On top of that, the Autobots retain their more G1 accurate appearances that we saw in the Bumblebee movie, as we see Optimus Prime, who turns into a truck straight from the G1 cartoon, and RC, who has a design very reminiscent of G1. While Bumblebee still retains his more Michael Bay Transformers appearance, that wasn't really a bad design to begin with. And we also get to see Mirage for the first time, and I'll be honest, I don't think it was a great idea making Mirage transform into a Porsche, as I think a lot of people are going to end up mistaking Mirage for Jazz from the 2007 movie. Although it was really cool when they showed off how he can make these hologram projections of himself, and he uses those to fool the police chasing after him. So I'm really excited to see what else they managed to do with his powers. Now, if there's one thing that I'm not too excited about with this movie, it's that we're getting a brand new cast of human characters again, which means we also have to go through the whole Transformers origin story once again, with these characters finding out that Transformers are real. And I just wish that this series would just be able to find a human cast that works and stick with them, instead of going through the whole process of our characters discovering what Transformers are again, since this will be the 4th time that we've seen it now. Though I do find it interesting that it looks like Mirage is going to replace Bumblebee as the main Transformer that the humans interact with. Now, one thing I'm really curious to see in this movie is the continuity. Are they going to still try and tie it to the Michael Bay movies, or is this now a completely separate continuity? Because the Bumblebee movie kind of worked that it could fit into the Michael Bay movies, but it could also be its own thing. So I'm interested to see if this is just completely abandoning the Michael Bay films, or if they're still going to try and work it in somehow. There is one line that makes me think it could be tied to the Michael Bay films, and it's when Optimus Primal is talking to Optimus Prime and telling him that this current threat is greater than anything he has faced or will face in the future. And I found that to be a really odd thing to say in the trailer, so either that is just a line said for the trailer to get people excited, or what I'm thinking is that it could imply that there's some sort of time travel involved, in that Optimus Primal and the other Maximals come from the future. And perhaps that future is the failed Michael Bay timeline, as maybe they come from a time where the theoretical 6th Michael Bay Transformers movie happened, where Unicron awakens, as that was what Michael Bay's films seemed to be building up to. And then it could be that the Maximals came back in time to sort of warn Optimus Prime about this dark future, and that's the darkness they're referring to in the trailer. And what really solidifies this to me is the fact that the main villain is Scourge, who, if you're unfamiliar with the character, at least in my knowledge, in the G1 cartoon, he was created by Unicron. So I think the fact that we're having one of Unicron's minions serve as the main villain, and the fact that Optimus Primal seems to know something about Optimus Prime's future, hints that this is sort of like rebooting the timeline while also keeping the Michael Bay films as their own separate timeline, so that you could watch Bumblebee and then it would lead into Michael Bay's films, but then some point after the Michael Bay films, the Maximals travel back in time to prevent the current timeline from entering the Michael Bay timeline. Either that, or I'm just really overthinking things, and Scourge is nothing more than just a generic Decepticon in these movies. But I do hope that he is connected to Unicron in some way, as I think it's about time we finally see Unicron on the big screen again, and not just trapped in the Earth's core like he was in The Last Knight. So overall, I think that if this movie can manage to have writing similar to what the Bumblebee movie had, and maintain that Michael Bay level of action that they seem to be teasing at in the final shots of the trailer, I think this could easily be the best Transformers movie released so far. And while I haven't really been excited for Transformers movies since Age of Extinction, the Bumblebee movie showed that there is potential for this series going forward, and this seems to be keeping more in line with the tone that the Bumblebee movie set up, rather than trying to be more like the Michael Bay Transformers. And that has me really excited, so long as they can maintain the action from the Michael Bay movies, and that seems to be exactly what we're going to see here. But what do you think? Are you excited to see this new Transformers movie, or are you still a bit skeptical going into this one? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, thanks for watching.